What's up, everybody? Good morning. You're tuning into another AMA that I am putting together for DragonCon 2026. Right now, I am going to be getting ready for the show. And so this is basically kind of like a session where you guys get to ask me questions while I package books for my next convention. And a question that I've been asked recently, and something that I always stress creators to do. I've actually had to lecture another creator about this, is you need to keep track of what you're selling at every single convention you do, because the numbers never lie. If you want to do this full time and you want this to be your career, you have to become reliant on gathering and analyzing data. Data comes from numbers, right? So, how much you make at a show, how much you spend at a show, how much inventory do you bring, all these things matter, okay? So they're important for a number of reasons. One, they give you a sense of how to approach the show the following year, because chances are if you do one show and you have a successful event, you're going to want to come back the following year and do that show again. So it's very important to have your numbers. And if you have seen me at any convention, you see that I always have like a ledger, and I always mark down how many books I sell. Why? Is it to stroke my ego? No, it is not to stroke my ego. It is so I can keep track of how many books I'm selling. If I'm going to make some grand statement that I've sold 175,000 copies of Eastern Shin, I better be able to fucking prove it on paper, right? At least to myself. I mean, this information I've actually been told is kind of like a lot of people might challenge my numbers, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. My numbers are for me. They're not for anyone else in the public. I can tout them all I want, but it's nothing official because there's not some official number counting asshole who's there keeping track of how many books I sell. You want to know how you know that I'm being honest? Because I'm still in business doing this. That's how you know I'm being honest. And I know I'm being honest because why would I want to lie to myself, right? I got bills to pay at the end of the month, and no one gives a shit if I sold 200,000 books or 100,000 books or even 50 books. No one gives a flying fuck, okay? That's just the God honest truth. But if I'm going to go do a show like DragonCon, which is expensive to do, okay? I got to get my booth, which is about $700. I got my plane ticket, which fortunately was a little cheaper. My hotel, which I stay outside of the city because I don't want to be in the mess of everything. And then I rent a car, okay? The price of that plus food and all the other expenses that I have along the way, it adds up, okay? So, and shipping the product I'm about to send out. So all in, I'm probably close to about $2,000 in the hole just to do the show, right? Might be a little under it, I don't know. But let's just be conservative and say $2,000. So $2,000 just to do DragonCon. I got to be able to pull a lot more than $2,000 out of this show, right? I got to know that whatever I bring with me is going to sell. Because if it doesn't sell and I don't hit my margins, A, I'm going to have stuff I'm going to have to ship back, and B, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills at the end of the month. That also sucks, right? So how am I going to know what to send this year? I know what to send this year because of what I sold last year. So looking at those numbers, actually, when I was first thinking about how am I going to go do this show, I was thinking about bringing 200 sets of Warline with me. But upon looking at the numbers, I realized I sold 150 last year. So if I bring 200 sets of Warline now, then that means I got to sell 50 more people Warline, which is going to cut into the sales of all my other stuff. And that's kind of rough. I don't know if I want to do that. Plus, I also increased the prices of my other books. So I may not have to bring as much, right? So now I'm actually going to stick to the same Warline quantity. And actually, I'm going to stick to the same quantity of pretty much everything. I'm just going to be bringing slightly less graphic novels. But because I'm selling the graphic novels for a little bit more, I mean, before I was, providing like a 20% discount off of every graphic novel at conventions. I can't afford to do that anymore because I'm running through inventory. I'm burning through it. And the thing that I've realized over the last year, by doing all these shows and selling everything at cover value, is that it's still selling. Now, I was actually talking with another creator yesterday about this incentivization. I think it's really important as an independent creator. Someone made a video once and then someone commented like, this guy's selling his books for like 5 cents at a show. No, I'm not fucking selling my books for 5 cents at a show. That's fucking stupid. That is not how you run a business. If I'm losing a single dollar off of, let me rephrase that. If I'm not making my cost back at the very minimum off of every single book, then I am losing money, okay? There should always be a standard for how you are selling books. And whether you're reselling like old collectibles or you're selling your own published material, whatever the case is, there should always be a double standard if it's possible, right? So like if I buy a book for $1 and I sell it for $2, I'm not meeting the double standard. Every book that I'm buying at $1 should be selling at $4. But for the sake of what I do when I'm reselling back issues, that's just more for, fun. What's up, Tony? How you doing? So that, like, for me to sell, if I buy a book at $1 and I sell to you at $2, I'm still making some money. I'm okay. I'm covering my costs, right? I'm not losing money. If I go to a con, and let's say this book cost me about $3 to print, this hardcover here, it cost me $3 to print. I can just tell you that right now. And I sell it for 5 cents, I'm losing $2.95. That is stupid. That is not a smart strategy. That's not how you stay in this business for the long term. I have to at least sell this for, the double. I have to make my double. So the double would be $3 plus $3 plus $3. So it'd be $9, right? I'd need to make $9 for it to be profitable. Now, I sell these books at $25 because these are expensive to print. If I'm going to go back and reprint them, it's going to cost me a lot of money, and I don't want to spend that kind of money, right? So, I always want to try and hit that margin with everything, and I think it's really important to think about that. So no, I'm not selling these books at a steep discount. What I'm trying to do when I was doing books at 4 for $10 is incentivization. I'm still making money off of those books at those prices, but I'm incentivizing a buyer who has a limited budget to spend their last $20 with me at a convention, right? Now, the cool thing about Dragon Con is it attracts a different type of buyer, very different type of buyer. 176 pages in this book. Now, Dragon Con attracts a type of buyer that is really going out of their way to find you. The reason why I say that is because Dragon Con is spread out across multiple buildings. The Artist Alley at Dragon Con is on the 4th floor of the building. So if you go to the 4th floor of the building, you're coming there to spend money. And it's also such a wide range of things that you go and do at Dragon Con. So yeah, exactly. And again, when I priced this book at $25, I was also thinking about incentivization, because why not charge $35? Why not charge $45? I mean, honestly, it's all pretty arbitrary when you think about it. Arbitrary? Is that the word? I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. You come up with a price point that you think you can sell this at. And the fact of the matter is, no matter what con you go to, my friends, if you're an independent creator, no one is coming to the con to see you unless you're some big deal. And even if you are some big deal, you still got to explain to them why they should be buying your book. Even the top names in this business have to, convince people to spend their money with them if they're doing something that they're not known for, right? Like, for example, if Scott Snyder does an independent comic book, he's not going to be doing what I do at a con and standing out there and selling. But the company that is going to be pushing his book has to find some way to get people to pick up this book. And they're obviously going to use his name, but people who like Scott Snyder because they're reading Absolute Batman aren't necessarily going to follow him over for some other series he's doing, because they may not be into horror. They may just like Batman. They're just Batman loyalists and they like the way he writes Batman. So they're not going to be, working on that next book. So if you're an independent creator, you really have to think about incentivization for your books. And I'm not telling you to price things to a point where you're not making money. I'm not saying that at all. You have to find that middle ground where you're covering your cost of printing, you're covering your cost of your time, and then you're providing enough meat on the bone for you to, keep doing what you're doing, right? You need to put money back into the business too. But at the same time, you want to provide that incentive for buyership. You need to build your fan base. Incentivization is how we build our buyer base. So these people don't know who we are. Where you expect them to just drop hundreds of dollars with you because your book looks great? No one gives a shit. I have a book that has a foreword by Stan Lee. No one gives a fuck. I got to give them a good reason to spend their money with you. I mean, it stops people for sure to say, "Hey, I have a book that has a foreword by Stan Lee in it," but it's not what I lead with when I'm selling some shit at all. What I lead with is what the story is about, because that's what's either going to captivate people or get them to be like, "No, it's not for me." And people are fickle, I'll tell you that, especially at cons. Very careful with their money, and everybody wants a deal. If you can give them a deal and a good story, you might have a chance. And Tony, how the heck are you doing, dude? It's great to see you here. I need to get in the habit of just starting to get all this stuff together quickly. I'm glad you're doing well. I appreciate you being here right now. It's better to know I'm talking to someone than just screaming out into the void. So why am I doing this right now, this AMA? I'm doing this AMA because for years I've had lots of folks ask me, "Hey, it was really cool when you packaged up books and hung out with us. You should do that again." So here I am doing it. I didn't do it for a long time because, most people aren't up as this early in the West Coast right now. So right now it's like 7 a.m. out there. And, it's everybody's getting their day moving in the Midwest and East Coast. East Coast has been, rocking and rolling for hours already. But, as a father of two boys, I'm usually kind of programmed to be up and running pretty early. And I didn't wake up at 8:30 and then decide to come down and just hit the start button on here. I was actually up pretty late last night processing orders from my last live sale that I did, and then getting ready for my next show that I'll be doing, my next live sale, which will be on Whatnot later this weekend. Here, I'll drop in the link, or not the link. I'll drop the link in too. But I will also share the image for it. What is it? Yeah. So I'll be live on Whatnot this Saturday. And let me see if I can get the link up for you guys. Just 1 second. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes it's just you're busy. It's all good, man. I like seeing you here. And another thing you could do, Tony, if you're ever interested in buying comics from me, which is totally cool. Even if I have like a show, like last night was kind of like a slow night for me in terms of like sales. Like I sold through some stuff, but I didn't sell through a lot. You can go on and rewatch the show, and if I still have those books, you can claim them after the fact. So anyway, that's the link to my Whatnot show. If you guys are watching Whatnot or whatever, you can take a picture, or sorry, not take a picture, follow that link and save the time. So we go live on Saturday afternoon, 12 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right. Back to that. And then if you just want to hang out tonight, you can come and check out my review show. So after I'm done with this, I'm going to be going out and buying all the new comics this week, and then I'm going to give them my scorchingly painful reviews. Right here. So tonight, I will be. No, that is not the right image. Damn it. Son of a bitch. All right, there we go. So tonight I am going to be going live for my mukbang reviews. Here, I'll remove myself from here. So mukbang reviews is tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be reviewing all of this week's new comics. I already started reading a bunch of stuff, so give you guys my take on this week's new releases. Really good books came out this week. I had a chance to already read like a couple of them. All right, so what I'm doing right now, I'm packaging up graphic novels for this next show here. And I'm also sorting through unsold inventory from my last show, which was fortunately in Chicago. So didn't have to worry about shipping anything back, which is nice. And that gives me less stuff to sort through. And another thing that I think was kind of unfortunate was Yi Sun-shin did not sell out of single issues at the show at all. I was a little upset about that. But it is what it is, right? Not every show is going to be a banger on that front. However, I still had my best Fan Expo Chicago show that I've had in history. I've made the most money there that I ever have. So despite not selling out of everything, I still had a rocking show. Now, what carried that for me was really Warline. Warline did sell out, and most of my graphic novels of Yi Sun-shin also sold out. So that carried a lot of the weight of everything. But you know, my Yi Sun-shin single issues didn't do as well, which is kind of nice because right now we're going to have less to pack up, which is good. All right. The part of this I hate the most, by the way, is packing up all the Yi Sun-shin Warrior Defender graphic novels because the printer decided to shrink wrap every single book. Seems like a nice gesture, right? But I really hate that they did this because if I keep these books shrink wrapped, then every single time I sell one at a show, I got to take the time to crack it open, sign it, and ship it out. Or sorry, and rip it open anyway and sign it for the buyer. It's a pain in the ass. Let that be a lesson to all printers out there that if you're going to do something like that, let the buyer know in advance. It's a nice thing to do, but you got to let me know that, hey, we're going to shrink wrap these for you, okay? I don't know if they worked this into the price or not, too. Did I pay more for this? I don't even know. But, yeah, I was a little disappointed with the printer for doing that. Even though it's a nice gesture, it's nice, but this is useless to me. I don't want shrink wrap material. Because now all this plastic goes to waste. All of it goes to fucking waste. This is like, what? Nearly every single book that is sold that I sell, I am literally signing every single book. So for me to even keep these shrink wrap and go to the convention and, you know, throw all this shit out over there is also an incredible waste of my time. Plus, this doesn't do anything to protect the product. Just a nice little thing to do. If I was selling this retail, hey, that would be fine, you know, but, you know. Really, I didn't see the lunar eclipse. I didn't even know there was a lunar eclipse last night. Tony, where are you out of, man? Where's home for you? It's like Krypton's red sun. Earth's fucked. Oh, you're in Texas? Okay, cool. What part of Texas? The good part of Texas. Actually, I really love Texas. Okay, yeah, we met at Dallas Fan Expo. Okay, cool. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there this year. I will be back there in. Hopefully, I can get in there next year. We'll see. If they'll have me back, I'll come back. All right. Look at all this plastic here. This is so like frustrating to keep this. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I just got to toss this. Yeah, they moved it because of the World Cup. Yeah. I thought they were also redoing the convention center, too. Like, my understanding was they were setting up the convention center, like they were expanding it or something like that. It's a pretty small convention center. Which surprises me. Dallas is such a huge city. I see. You got any pictures of that moon from the eclipse? That'd be cool to see. How many kids you got, Tony? I got a teenager now. It fucking sucks. Actually, it doesn't. He's a good kid. I mean, he's kind of a dickhead, like all teenagers are. Total dickhead. But, what are you going to do? Oh, you got two kiddos? How old are they? You got the best of both worlds. Me, I got two boys. Two ace holes. Seven and 5. Oh man, they're still young. Man, mine are 9 and 14 now. I miss the days of 7 and 5. They grow up so fast. It's like everything is just gone in the blink of an eye. And I never thought about it when they were younger. Like when they were younger, it was always such a, so much work and so much of everything. But like now it's like you miss the old times. They start school yet? I'm assuming they did. My kids are in school already. My youngest is in 4th grade, and my oldest started high school. So he's now a couple weeks into it. And he is so far ahead for his age. I mean, like, compared to me, I was such a fucking slacker when I was in high school. I did not have my shit together at all. I didn't take school seriously. It just wasn't the place for me. A lot of people really like school. Not me. I was not a fan of school. I hated school. You know, there's like people who are like, I love going to school every day. I love waking up early in the morning. Fucking hated it. If you're going to wake up early in the morning, do it for something that, you know, matters to you. Wake up early in the morning because you're doing what you love. They're doing something they're goddamn passionate about. Like hookers and blow. You were in band, so you didn't have to take gym. What instrument you play? But shit, man, band's a commitment. You gotta like show up, like, you know. Then you get to cut class and shit, but you still gotta like show up for other things too. Oh, the trumpet, nice. I tried playing the baritone horn in 5th grade, and then I quit. I was in there because I had a crush on this girl. Then she thought I was a total tool because I didn't take it seriously. I was also trying to be a class clown a lot. Most of the time I wasn't funny. I was one of those kids. You would have said, shut up, too. Shut up, Onrie. Not funny. The bomb's not funny. All right. Our weekly plastic waste is now done. I'm so happy about that. Only have like 700 other boxes to do that with. All right, here's a question for you guys. What song is stuck in your head right now? Every time I'm about to do an AMA, I'm always hearing Back in Black by AC/DC. Yes, I'm back! Hey, 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 hey! I know, my voice is terrible. Fucking deal with it. Shut the front door. That's true. You did get to go to the football games for free. That's it. You gotta look at the perks, right? I've been encouraging my older son to go to the football games at his high school. He didn't want to. He just wanted to like come home and show. He had to move. He moved to a new school this year, so it's been kind of. He's been handling it really well. I mean, it's like all his friends are in a different school, so you know, it's hard starting over again. But he just went into it and he was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm ready to do it. I'm so proud of him for being able to adapt so quickly and be so comfortable with it. That's a hard adjustment. Going to a school where you don't know anyone, you got to start out from the beginning, and it's high school no less, which is even more intimidating. But you know, he handles it really, really well. Okay, so these are two graphic novels for the show. Last year, I brought 60 of Volume 1, 60 of Volume 2, and that was sold at $20 a pop, right? So I had 20 times 60. That was 1,200 units, or sorry, $1,200 per, per book once I sold through all 60 units. I'll show you guys how they're lined up right now. So here we go. Oh, shoot, we don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to close up the lid. So we got 40 and 40 now. A little bit different breakdown. But at 40 and 40, I'm going to be making a little bit less, but I'm going to be selling each book for more. So I'm making more per unit, less overall, which I'm okay with. That's all right. Because selling through this stuff is going to be a little bit tougher now, right? I'm not going to be blowing through these like I would if I was selling 60 of these at $20 a pop. So that's fine. Still making good money on the books, right? I'm actually making better money per unit now. My likelihood of selling through all of this is still very, very high. I'll still get through all of this. And that's what I'm hoping for, And again, we're not doing like crazy markups on prices here. We're just trying to sell through the stuff a little bit slower, right? Because that's the key. It's like if the biggest thing I learned from last year, from 2025, I had a really good year. But the biggest lesson I learned from that year is if I continue incentivizing with such low prices while costs keep going up, especially because I'm printing overseas. So, there's product that's going to come here damaged. There's all kinds of stuff that's going to happen along the way. I'm going to be left with less stuff, which means I'm going to have to go back to printing sooner. If I sell it at the higher price point, it's going to take me a little bit longer to sell it, but I'll make more money off of each book, and I don't have to bring as much with me. So my shipping costs go down a little bit, not a lot, but they go down just enough. Just enough for it to make sense. And where I lack in what I'm making here, I'll be making up for with what I sell my single issues for, because I'm selling the same amount of single issues, but the single issues are going to be sold for more. Some people will argue with you and say that single issues are a dead market. The fuck they are. Single issues are alive and well, my friends. People like buying single issues. You have to think about it as accessibility. If people have an opportunity to experience your book in the formats that they want to experience them in, that's all that matters. And as long as you're making money as a publisher, that's also something that matters too, right? So I'm a big believer in accessibility. All right. So accessibility means that they can access your work through single issue format, or they can access your work through graphic novels. It doesn't matter. If you provide both, single issues are going to take up table space. Honestly, the single issues for me always take up the most amount of table space, but they look pretty. That's one fact. And two, they sell. All right. We got 41 pounds on this. This box is 41 pounds. I'll put this box inside my trunk. Now, why am I weighing every box? I'm weighing every box because this is all going to go to a shipping facility, a freight company that I use to ship all my stuff. A very large company called R&L Carriers, so you'll probably see their trucks everywhere on the street if you're paying attention. So I use this company to ship all my books for conventions. I've been working with them for about 10 years now. Very good company. And I ship from one facility to the other. So where all these books going right now? They're going to Georgia. Their facility is in Macon. So as soon as I get off my plane at ATL, I go get my rental car. I'm going to Macon to get the books. And then I am going to the convention center to float in. Hey, how's it going? My neighbor. Won't you be my neighbor? Okay, let's weigh this bad boy. Yeah, see you, Tony. Thanks for popping in. This is not a show where I expect like a huge viewership. I know this is kind of boring. 1.8. Oops. Forgot to mark down the other weight on the this. Okie dokie. So I pretty much have all my Easton Chin graphic novels ready to rock. Now let's move over to single issues. And what's nice is we had a lot of unsold inventory at Fan Expo Chicago, so I can now work that into the loadout for the next show. So you see, even if you don't sell out at a show, it's no big deal. You just bring them to the next show and sell them out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, single issues for me, that's a big. I mean, I rely heavily on single issue sales. It's one of the cheapest access points to your work. So I'm a big advocate for single issues. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think we should still be supporting and um, understanding that the single issue market is alive and well, especially with independents. It's just a matter of like, does it make sense for you? Do you want to sell single issues? That's a choice, you know. Am I getting out of single issues? Yes. Why am I getting out of single issues? Because ultimately they do become more expensive when, let's say, I sell through all of my issue ones. My issue one sales are always going to be higher than my issue two, three, and beyond, right? So that's always what's going to happen. Reason is because of the longevity. So my issue one has been out the longest, so it's always going to have the strongest sales. And every other book that comes after is going to be falling behind in that regard. I actually have to shift this over a little bit, shift myself over. Continue building out these sets. Got garbage bags here. Another cool thing about Fan Expo Chicago, we had a lot of people coming back for Hunter and Destroyer 3, so that's a good sign. You know, when people are coming back for the latest thing, you know, you got a built-in readership. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and always keep that in mind. Whether you have a successful show or not, that matters. People coming back to buy your stuff, that's a sign of success. That is not a sign of failure. Some people feel like, oh, I'm not making as much money. It doesn't matter. Some shows you're going to make more money. Some shows you're going to make less money. It's, you know, way of the world. And I'll tell you guys, I took a pretty big financial hit this year with some of my biggest shows, like Emerald City Comic Con, because of my experimenting. But sometimes you got to take risks. You got to try different stuff, because if you don't do that, you're not going to grow. Yes, this is true. Chris Dysko, what's up, dude? Show prep's not for crybabies. If you're a crybaby, this show's not for you.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Single issues really fill up your table too. They can, they're a lot less intimidating than having trades and stuff. But the key is you gotta be printing up enough of these things for it to make sense. And one of the reasons why I want to kind of get out of it is, I want the value of these books to go up more, right, over time. But also because it's going to save me a lot of money if I go to soft cover novellas. So I've been talking about this for a long time, but I'm also coming up with other access points. We're talking about accessibility. Like that's a major thing. Having access, that's providing access points for readers is the most important thing. And what that means is giving them different ways to experience things. Like think about moviegoers. There's some people who like to go to the theater and watch movies that way. And then there's people who like to buy Blu-ray DVDs. And then there's people who just like to download the content and just watch it on their phone. And then there's people who like to stream. Now, for me as a businessman, I'm not a big fan of streaming. Like for me as a publisher, I don't like the model. I don't like how it works, and I don't like the amount of power it gives to the distributor of the content, because I don't see how the financial breakdown works. And I'm a big numbers guy, which means that I want to know where the money's coming from. It's a really important thing for me. If I can't see where the money's coming, I'm not interested. Because I can't afford to use it. Some people think, oh, it's exposure. You're getting exposure. Like, fuck exposure. I don't fucking care about exposure. Exposure can suck my left nut. Most artists will tell you that, but this is especially true if you're a publisher of my size. Some bigger publishers who have more money to play with, they have, more resources, they can afford to spend the money, waste the money like that. I still think it's a waste of money. All those marketing gimmicks, giveaway stuff like that, I'm not a big fan of that stuff. I think it just sends the wrong message to the buyer. Tells them there's no value in what you're doing. But I mean, that's just me. I'm a stubborn asshole. I could be wrong about a lot of things. I probably am. I've had many conversations with different people about it too, and I see their points. But in my opinion, I think that, you want to have something that you're making money on. You need to know where the money's coming from. And I'm not a big fan of digital stuff. Like I work with this company called Global Comics. Nice guys, I love them all. But they send me some sort of accounting record every quarter telling me how many views I have. And they're like, you made 15 cents. And it's just like, fuck you. I'm sorry, I don't need this summary. Take your summary and shove it up your ass, 15 cents. You guys are putting my work up there for free. You're making money for your company off of my content. I'm not a big fan of that. I like the guys at Global Comics, but not a fan of how we do stuff. I'm not providing them with new content. What they have is what they have. I've been debating on whether or not I want to keep my stuff up there because there's no strategy there. There's nothing there to really work with. And okay, partially it's my fault. I haven't really been pushing it, but even if I push it, they're only going to do so much because I'm just one small publisher and they have 700 of these guys, Again, not trying to diss these guys. They're very nice people. I've hung out with, the owners of the company. We party together and all that stuff. They're nice people, very kind. But, I'm just, if I don't see a financial breakdown of how this is serving me in any way, I don't care. And it's one thing if, let's say, someone finds Easton Chin on their site, reads it, and then decides to buy from my site. That's great, but my online sales are not reflective of that at all. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe one more set. Ball sacks. Oh, ball sacks. It's getting nice and hot in here. All right. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, you're just putting your content up there for free. I don't see the. I'm probably not utilizing it the way it's meant to be utilized. You know, I get what they're trying to do. I get it. But if you're not utilizing it to your benefit, if you're not capable of doing it, then, you know. Some people really can. I know that there are people who have different views of this who are going to totally challenge any belief I have about this. You know, so I always keep an open mind. I'm not one of those people who's closed off to a certain way of thinking. I think that's stupid too. Well, I have to be right in this situation. No, you fucking don't. Sometimes you can be wrong, and that's okay. David Moore actually posted something really fantastic the other day about, you know, good leaders are not the smartest people in the room. They're the best listeners. They pay attention to everything that's being said. You know? One thing I wanted to share with you guys, and this is something that I'm dealing with in my personal life right now. So I live in an association, as you guys know. I'm sharing this garage with like a bunch of other owners here. And the association wants to pass a $5,000 assessment. It's like a special assessment because they want to improve the grounds here, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of it, but like, I also understand why it needs to be done. But they want all the money up front. And the promise is that we're going to charge you this one-time thing, and there will be no more special assessments. That's a bunch of bullshit right fucking there, right? And a lot of the residents are really pissed off, including myself, of course, you know, because why wouldn't I be pissed off? We're all pissed off about this. However, you know, like, before getting emotional about it, you got to understand what's really happening here and what can be done to solve the problem, you know? So the situation is that the lights outside, like as you're driving through our area, need to be, they're not up to code. They're not up to date, according to Crook County. So that's a serious issue, and that needs to be addressed. Right? Like, you can't not do that. So if an assessment needs to be taken care of for that, I understand. And they're saying, you know, we've got pools here. They're saying our pools are not up to, you know, up to speed and stuff like that too. All right, that makes sense too. Like, that should also be fixed. I'm totally on board with that as well. Fix it, you know. But then they want to, you know, improve the grounds and do this and that and the other thing and do all this cosmetic bullshit that is going to increase our property values. Now, is this money going to go where it needs to go? Probably not. I could go on all day. I could bitch about this all day long, and, you know, most of you guys would probably agree with me. And if you guys were going through a situation like this, I'm sure you'd probably be upset about it too. Some of you probably are going through situations like this. But the point is, I went to a meeting on Monday,
And everyone at this meeting was really emotional and getting all upset and all this stuff, all for good reason. It totally makes sense. But what I did when I was in the meetings, I shut my fucking mouth and I listened. I didn't ask any questions. I just listened to everything. Because sometimes you just got to listen and shut the hell up. And then you got to process the information. And once you process the information, then you can come up with a solution, or at least come up with the right question to ask that could offset things. The good thing is right now, the people that represent our association, who are also residents, are, standing up for us right now and trying to figure out what the deal is. Like, no one's against paying a special assessment, but we want to know where that money's going, right? So that's important. We want to make sure that there's no siphoning of funds, like all that kind of shit. And you have to listen. You have to absorb the information before you can come up with an opinion on anything. I used to be very reactive. I used to, especially in my early days when I didn't, know stuff, I'd get offended easier. I'd, get upset about things and introspect in ways that were pretty unhealthy. As I've gotten older, I realize that's not worth the stress. There's much bigger fish to fry in life, and much bigger things to focus on. And also, I find that things have a funny way of working out. Ooh, I got a message. All right. Nothing was for me. It's all part of the groups I'm in. Two. Three. 4. Six, 7. Fucking 6, 7. Fucking kids these days. Kids these days. Kids these days. Yeah, take care. Later, dude. And if you're in the room right now, feel free to ask any questions you want. I'm here. I'm just packing up books. I don't know why I'm doing this. Someone requested I do it at some point. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll do it. Not someone. I had a bunch of people ask me, hey, you should do these. But I don't think people realize how early in the morning I was doing it. But it's more broadcast time, right? You guys get to spend more time with me. Get to learn more about what I do, how the sausage is made. 4. Two. 3. 4. Whew. All right, Eastern single issues are ready to go. Once I package these up, I will be done packaging up Eastern books for this show. It's great. Only took an hour. That's good timing, actually. I'm happy with that. Take a picture of that. Show you guys the loadout here. I know this show's not for everybody, but you know, at some point the content's going to be up there. People are going to look back on this. So that's what it's for. Okay. Where do I put, what box should I put these in? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Scissor. Scissor. You guys like sipping on that scissor? All right. So as soon as I'm done here with this, I got to package up Marks and Warline books. And then once I get those boxes all boxed up and weighed out, then the next step is to inform my company, the freight company, that I'm going to be shipping out stuff with them today. Once they know that basically I got to provide them with the weight of the total skid. So it's the weight of all these boxes plus plus what? Plus the weight of the skid itself. So the skid typically weighs about anywhere from like 15 to like 20 pounds-ish, 25 pounds. Oh wait, I gotta do something here. I always forget to do this. Jeez. Don't want to forget this. Cool. Make sure single issues don't get damaged. Okay, 28.2. £2. The nice thing about drivable shows is I don't gotta fucking weigh all this shit. I just throw it inside my car and that's it. I'm not being shipped to any foreign location. Here I gotta be a lot more careful. All right, we need to put some sort of covering on top. Got this, maybe something else. A piece of wood.
All right. Box ready to go. This bad boy, 31.6. 31.6. Yes. Yes. So I also mark what's inside the boxes too. So I have like a little code on there for myself. So I know what's inside each box. Loading out. Loading in. Boxes. All right. This here. One point six. Now for this show, I want to go a little bit heavier on marks. The reason why I want to go heavier on marks is because it's a bigger show, more money to be made in another book to add on my table. So this is going to be a marks heavier show because of that.
Plus, the editor of the book is going to be at the show too. So this is a way for me to kind of incentivize buyers. We were talking about incentive before. This is a great incentivization. People know that one of the contributors of the book is there, so they'll be able to meet him and get their book signed. Right. So last year I brought 60 copies of Marks with me. Because my stock is running dreadfully low, I'm bringing less Marks with me to conventions right now. I have big plans for Marks in 2027. We're going to be putting out a new edition of it because we're almost sold out of what we have here. And we're adding some extra content to it. So I'll be going to Kickstarter next year with Marks. Campaign. And yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got about 8 boxes left of Marks, not including this stuff here. So, once I sell through that, that's it. Like I'll be completely sold through, and that's the 3rd printing of the book. So this will be the 4th printing of the book. This next edition that I put out, which is pretty amazing. It's also a 10-year edition too. And we're going to be making some small changes to the book, just remastering it. I like to go back and remaster things and put out new editions of the books that I've already put out there. Because I want these books to circulate. Selling a couple thousand of these doesn't mean shit to me. I want to get hundreds of thousands of sales of everything I do. But what's nice now is Mark's sales kind of are starting to rival that of, some reissued DC trades, which is kind of cool. That's beautiful. Nice thing about this, I don't have to weigh it twice because I have the same amount of units going inside each box. It goes well. Yeah, I'm about, I want to say, 2/3 of the way through, which is great. Roberto, how are you doing, dude? How was your show last night? Should have 8 boxes here. 1, 2, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't mark down the weight. No, everything's going good, dude. There we go. Yeah, all I got left now is I got a package of Borderline books. Oh, you're writing today. That's great. Writing days are fantastic. Vernon was working hard, guys. He is doing his thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, I'm just packaging up Warline books now, and as soon as I'm done with that, it's I'm done here. I gotta just load up the boxes and then go inside and email the freight facility and tell them I'm coming with this package. 7, 8. 6, 8. Yeah, this is not a very entertaining show. I think I need to find a better format to entertain you guys. Maybe like do reels or something. I don't know. 6, 8, 9, 10, 50. So bringing 150 copies of each issue of Warline with me to the show. And it is getting hot in this garage, I'll tell you that. But this is part of the hustle no one gets to see. You guys are literally getting to see how the sausage is made. How does the guy behind me not have a name? Have a name? You talking about Bob? That's an extra Bob I got. When I first started doing shows, I got another Bob because I was like, you're watching Kicking It with Onrie, and I would kick Bob. 30. But he's been retired. He's my guard dog in the garage. Because Bentley's busy guarding the house. And I think I'm actually starting to become like Bentley when it comes to landscapers. I'm starting to get really annoyed of them too. They're like bees. Really annoying bees. No, they're just working hard. Good men. Working hard, trying to make a buck like the rest of us. 2, 4, 6, 10. 3 more Warline ones. This is going swimmingly well. Swimmingly well. And Roberto, I got a question for you. So you say it's a writing day. I thought, is that like code word for today's the day I'm only reading Absolute Batman books? Oh, wait, actually, I'm only sorting through my vast collection of Absolute Batman books. Ten, 20, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'll tell you once I get out of single issue business, it'll be easier for me to get this ready, because right now I got to sort through this. Got to sort through the books, make sure that they're ready to go for the shows, 6, 8, 10. But I still think single issues are great. I have nothing against them. It's a great way. It's the only way to start your business, to be honest with you guys. 6. It's also nice to see that I'm ripping through Warline inventory.
Yep. Two, 4, 6, 8. It's 20. 6, 10, 30. Lots of empty boxes here. From packaging stuff and shipping stuff out. It's kind of fun to see that as a self-publisher. It's nice to see that as anybody selling comics. People actually buy these things? Yes, they do. All right. And I know what I'm doing as soon as I'm done here. I'm actually starting to feel a bit famished because I haven't had coffee this morning or had breakfast. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go inside, have a quick breakfast, actually a slow breakfast. I'm going to have a nice long breakfast. And then I'm going to go to the comic shop and pick up all the new comics that I want to get this week, plus some other stuff. I'll do some back issue diving, some restocking for my Saturday show on Whatnot. We're going to be developing a new format to using the platform. And I am so looking forward to it. Roberto, you're having a writing day today. You know, I had some writing time over the weekend, and I managed to get through another scene in Yisung Shin, which was great. And I'm really looking forward to finishing up Yisung Shin so I can do other stuff. And as I look at Warline, I always think about the future. And what's coming next?
That's a lot of damn war lion. It's the biggest haul of war lion that I'm going to have this year. And the goal is, of course, going to be through every last copy. So let's see if we can do it. I know this is really long. I'm going to rely on your feedback. Tell me what I can do to make these AMAs even better. Even better. Just better. All right. This is the fun part. Six, 7, 8, 9, 6. Six, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So if you're watching this, I appreciate you tuning in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just getting ready for a convention, doing an AMA. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. What's an AMA? It's ask me anything, is what they say. Not the most fun and entertaining show, but here I am, just doing my thing. If you have any questions, just feel free to drop them in the comments. Be happy to answer them for you. you have questions as a creator, let me know. You can also message me after hours too. I know this is really boring, but sorry. You guys asked me to do this, so I'm doing it for you. Seven, 8. Four, 6, 7, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gorgeous. I'm doing good, Lorena. How are you doing? Just stacking up books here. Getting ready for the next show. How are you doing? Four, five, six, seven. Tim Curry died today? What the fuck? I didn't see that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He died today? He's been sick for a long time, though, from what I understand. Fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. He was sick for a very long time. After a certain point, it's like you wonder, how long can someone last? 5, 6, 7. We've lost some good ones already this year. Dolly Parton, that really sucks. And she was an incredible person. Just inspiring kids to read, and putting together all these programs. Like she was a real big community builder. Yeah, he was sick for a very long time. I mean, he was paralyzed, I believe, for a long time. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, nice stack. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Show you guys what I just did right now. I've been doing for these last like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. So started out with 3 big stacks of Warline books, and now I have sorted through all the books. So this is it. This is what's coming with me to DragonCon. 150 sets of Warline 1 through 3. So now comes the last part, and then we're going to end this broadcast. But this is not the last time you guys are going to see me today. I will be back on the air in the evening for my mukbang reviews. So feel free to come on this evening at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern for Onrie's mukbang reviews. I'll show you guys the image for that. And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight talking about all of this week's new comics and my take on them. I also have a special guest coming on. You know, we're gonna have a good time. It's always a good time. So if you're reading the new comics, even if you're not reading the new comics, it's just a discussion about what's happening in the mainstay right now, like what's going on, what books are coming out, what my thoughts are on them. It's not just simply just to give you like my hot take on it, but also to talk about the actual medium, like what catches people's attention, what kind of comics sell and why, that kind of stuff. So if you're into that kind of a thing, you'll like this show. This show is for you, not just another review show, not another boring, stupid review show, idiot. My review shows are for morons, idiots. They're not. A whole ton of Warline boxes. Oh, this sucks my ass. Just ran out of tape. Ball sacks. I have to do that part later, I suppose. Okay. Just put them inside the box for now, and then I'll go inside and get tape afterwards. Yeah. It sucks when that happens. Last piece of tape. Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit in my ass. Oh, box fell over. Bad box. How dare he? Dare he, dare he. Oh my gosh. The good thing, again, is I only have to weigh these boxes once, right? Because I'm going to have the weight afterwards for all of them. It's all the same quantity of books per box. But in total, 150 times 3 is what? 450. So there's going to be 450 sets of Warline going out into the world.
after this con, which is great. That's what you want. That's why we do it. All right. And then one more box should do the trick. All right, guys. Well, this is, I guess, the end of our show here. But just remember, we're going to be doing the mukbang tonight. So feel free to tune into that. I'm going to end this broadcast now because I got to go downstairs anyway and get myself some tape so I can finish taking up these boxes here and weigh them out and get them out to Atlanta. So for those of you guys who are going to be at Dragon Con next week, I look forward to seeing you there. For those of you guys who are just tuning in to my shows, just to hang out, I appreciate you being here. I know this isn't always the most fun show compared to like my sales shows and all this other stuff, but I'll make up for it tonight. You guys will see me tonight on Onrie's Comic Mukbang Reviews. I'll have a special guest joining me. We're going to have a good time. Let's use this. There we go. All right. So that puts an end to my broadcast. And I will see you guys later as soon as I can rip off this stuff here. Put it over here. Put it over here. So it pulls up all nice and deep like. All right, guys. I'll see you later. You have a great rest of your day. Take care. How many boxes am I taking? So I got 5 here and 8 in there. So it's 13 boxes. Not sure how much it's going to weigh. Actually find that out right now. Hold on. Put this on here. That's not 13 pounds. 28.2. 7, 8, 28.2, 28.2, 28.2, 28.2, and 28.2. So yeah, it's 13 boxes total. Loadout and final weigh-in for all the boxes. Let's see. That's a great question, Lorena. Let's actually weigh it out. I can kill multiple birds with multiple stones. Okay. So we got 28.2. Yep. 0.2 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 times 8 plus 41.8 plus 41 plus 27.2 plus 41.6 gives us a total of 377.2 pounds worth of stuff. So that's what's going out to Atlanta. So looking forward to that. I'll see you guys later tonight on Onrie's Comic Mukbang Reviews. Thanks for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Have a good rest of your day.